He looked at my balls, he said they were cool, and there's just like smoke coming from my crotch. I feel like a high school sex ed teacher, but let's just get through this, right?
Let's start from the beginning.
I got a vasectomy, and I'd like to tell you about it, and why you should get a vasectomy too. I had for years just relied on my wife to handle birth control, and yet for years I thought it just wasn't my problem. Like, oh yeah, birth control is a thing that she does. And then I started thinking about, why is she the one who's carrying this burden? And as soon as I made that shift in my mind, I didn't feel like I could face myself with integrity and not take that on myself. Every argument I made against getting a vasectomy, it was invasive, I didn't want to mess with my body, was the same argument she could make for wanting not to put hormones in her body, or a ring, or pills, or whatever. Another part is I was doing it with foresight. I grew up in a broken home. I have 3 half-brothers who I love, but I never see. And the dynamic that I had growing up with his other families was really difficult. I knew that if things didn't work out with my wife, I didn't want to have to make the decision at that point whether or not to have more kids. So I wanted to make the decision now before it was ever an issue and take it off the table. So I started looking into vasectomies. It's a pretty easy procedure. Compare that with a tubal ligation, which is what my wife would have gone through, and that is a serious and major surgery. This guy said he would just clip my vas deferens and I'd be good to go. He looked at my balls, he said they were cool, and that the procedure would take like an afternoon and then a little bit more healing. Then I would have to masturbate 20 times. Then the vasectomy will have taken. When I got the procedure, it was fun, we chatted, and there's just like smoke coming from my crotch. But it took like 5 minutes. I didn't know at the time that I was gonna get separated from my wife, and now I am. It is true that I feel a lot of pressure to be able to have kids. And now I'm on Bumble. Every person that I match with is like kids sometimes. Well, with me, there's no chance. Getting a vasectomy is like hiding your keys when you're sober, so when you're drunk, you're not tempted to drive. Like, I got a vasectomy when I was married. I didn't want to have more kids. I'm sure down the road, the lonelier and more desperate I get, there'll be more and more pressure to procreate to satisfy the needs, wants, and desires of my prospective partners. And I've taken that off the table. And I'm so happy and so grateful that I don't have that temptation. Even if you're happily married, labor equity is an unassailable argument for getting a vasectomy. My name is Joshua David Stein. I think I shared like 85% too much, but let me know what you think. Would you get a vasectomy? Have you gotten a vasectomy? Should we make like a snip club where we can get together and talk about our vasectomies? Let me know. Okay. Bye.